Well, what went wrong is the table decided to be I am the table and bite back literally on Bob Holly's back. And it's man, this is something I talked about how many times during these episodes, James, that I talk about that we are so lucky with these table spots and other dangerous spots that more guys don't have stuff like this happen. We really are. There's someone looking over all of us because these bumps and these weapons and the position that wrestlers put themselves in, especially their back, their chest, their face. You know, you take a 3D through a table, something like this could happen to your throat going across the table. So I'm going to play this straight through. We have the actual clip, then we have a replay and a shot as the replay is going of Bob, the gash, oh my God, the deep gash in Bob's back. So let's go play it here. Doesn't look like much of anything, right? Doesn't look, we can go slow-mo. Looks like a very safe suplex from the ring through the table. Now, I was concerned. I'm going to show this right here. Look at Bob's leg right here. I was concerned he got caught up when I watched it live because his leg went off to the side. So I thought that was the injury because this leg is straight up like this, but that leg goes over there. So that's what I was looking at. No, because nobody had ever gotten gashed to this point from going through such a clean table bump. You can see here, they're selling, but as you close in on Rob, or should I say Bob, it's a completely different selling. It's like a, oh, you know what I mean? Like usually for this bump, see how Rob kind of looks knocked out, but Bob is grimacing like it's burning. You know what I mean? There's something, but he has to stay where he is. Like his instinct is probably like, do I have splinters in my back? Did I get in? Because what he probably thought, and they talked about this on a clip that I saw on YouTube. What I would think and what I would think Bob is thinking is the thing we're all scared about. And what's that? Getting impaled, getting like stabbed by one of the legs or the metal into our back. So he probably felt like it was stabbing into him, but it was kind of that numb kind of I'm in shock type of thing, very traumatic. So he's selling differently than Rob here. And that's what stood out to me rewatching it. When we come back from commercial, you can see, yeah, and I give them credit. By the way, you know, if you have kids or whatever, Ruby, don't be watching this. Get her out of the room. I should have prefaced with that. But as we're looking at this, dude, right there, that gash
Mm.
all the way around under the lat. You don't know how deep that is. I mean, it's deep, but that is ugly right there. That's something that for Bob to fight through that. Now, what I would be concerned about in hindsight, what are you concerned about when your open wound is going into a dirty mat? Staph infection. And that's nothing to joke about. Not only that, such an open cut, sweat, bodily fluids, dirt on the mat from your boots, from bumping, from sweat in earlier matches. It's definitely something that's just, and you can see Bob's arm. He doesn't know. He's like, look at the left arm right here. It's almost like he feels like the cut may be all the way underneath his armpit in the lat part there. So, but for him to push through and keep going, because he has to know at this point too, when we're in this situation, you have some kind of self-awareness and experience, you're like, this is gonna be something. Hopefully, the cut's not too deep. Hopefully, I'm not, like, bleeding out, but let's try to push through this because there's something here. Internally and subconsciously, that's what talent thinks. Like I said about the back injury thing, I'm an idiot too. We're all thinking in idiot ways of, "Man, I can get more over with this and stuff." Might as well. You already got cut, might as well finish the match. But here's the replay. They have another angle here. I'm gonna pause it and back it up. I just wanna show you. See that brace right here?
Mm.
How it's flying around? Boom. See that? It's the cover of the edge of the table. It's like a plastic thing with a very sharp edge to it. And dude, even myself, when I was doing the right to censor stuff and I would grab the Dudley's table and run away, it would slice my hands up because of that edge with the banding would stick out and you have to pick the table up and it was very, very sharp. So that's exactly see it right there,
Mhm.
this part. On this side here, where Bob's laying, that that was probably from this kicking out, that dug into his back and gashed him. You know, when he landed, it probably went through, and then when it popped, it kind of like sliced him. I mean, kind of sliced him. It definitely sliced him. But from any angle, dude, it is just a deep, deep gash, and it doesn't go around to here. But dude, that whole lat is numb. He's in shock. He's probably losing more blood than he realizes. So you're in a spot now where you're sweating, you're exerting, you're bleeding, and you're trying to figure stuff out. So you're probably how should I say expending a lot of energy. So Bob could Rob and Bob, that's a rib. They put that match together. Bob Holly probably might even be getting a little bit dizzy, might be feeling the effects of whatever besides being in shock. But Bob's such a tough guy. I give it to him. And once again, what didn't they do from this? They gave him a little push. They focused on this for a little bit, but it didn't elevate Bob to a permanent position. And it should have. I mean, you have hardcore Holly on ECW. And even he moves laterally after this. It doesn't make any sense.
I remember watching this at the time, and I don't know if you've got that in the footage that you've got, but Bob lands on his back afterwards as well. He knows something's wrong there, but he still does back bumps throughout the match, and it's like every single time, you know. I'm wondering, like, because that thing's open as well. I wonder if like he can feel like the air and the wind hitting it as he's moving around, and he just feels completely wrong.
I think he feels everything and he feels nothing at the same time. He's in a little bit of shock. He's went through tables. We've all gone through tables. And it's almost like you think to yourself, not every time you go through a table and this doesn't happen, that you say, oh, thank God that didn't happen. No, what you're thinking is, okay, that one is exactly how it should have went. And then when it happens, you're like, well, wait a minute, what happened? What happened? Like the guy says in What a Mighty Wind or whatever. But you're thinking, this is weird. Like I know maybe I just got some splinters in me or something, but then that blood was stretching across his back and around to the front and getting on the mat. So Bob probably thought, I'm bleeding a little bit, takes the back bumps and doesn't even realize until he gets back there. He knows it's bad, but that he's sliced from the edge of the table. Now, maybe Bob said, I knew right away it wasn't good, but I'm finishing this match. That's Bob Holly.
I mean, this is the man who got his neck broken by Brock Lesnar, and he was still throwing drop kicks afterwards. I mean, no one...
Yeah, we watched that.
Yeah.
We watched that. Crazy. Throwing a drop kick and landing like basically on the upper shoulder and almost neck when he turns over. Now, he's a real one, man. He's a real one.
To echo something pretty much that you said before, is this was a uniform table. This wasn't like the old ECW days or even WWF days, where they just grab any table they could find in the venue that day. These were very much in the days where they'd get, I don't know, 100 of these things delivered at one time because of I suppose that they just have the best sort of strength to breakability ratio, you know, where they keep their shape with somebody in, but then you can put them through quite easily. And then this, after years, this is the first time it's ever occurred to anyone that these tables are really dangerous in that way.
Well, has it really happened since then
Don't think
to
so.
this degree? No. I mean, knock on wood or whatever. You know, we're kind of overdue for that, and it should happen more often. This is no different than like people hitting each over the head with light tubes. Nothing bad has really come of that yet. But then when somebody's like, "Yeah, I got mercury poisoning because we did a whole house show loop on CZW, and I took the tubes every night." Okay, that makes sense. But how many times with barbed wire, with glass, we just watched the Darby Allin thing. talking about that, you know?
Mhm.
The Darby Allin thing is just like, what is he doing? Devon and myself for Devon's channel. It's like he got cut up, but he still came out of it not really with a broken back from landing through the chairs to the floor. The fans didn't get cut, even though the glass went everywhere. Dude, wrestling is so incredibly lucky. Borderline, I would say blessed to not have stuff like this happen almost every week.